guys, welcome to another layout. Okay, so this one, if you have seen any of my layouts, you will know that last week I actually did a layout and I did a heap of stamping with my Distress Oxides and Saltwater Taffy. Now, I never ended up using see all the leaves that are all cut out and die cut down the side there? I never used them. So today I decided I'm going to show you how I use leftovers. These are not technically scraps because they are perfectly formed leaves that are stamped and all the rest of it. So that's what I'm doing today. Now these are my foam strips that I buy from eBay. There's a few sellers on eBay and they sell these foam strips. They are the most stickiest strips you'll ever find, and they are fantastic. I buy them in 1/4 inch and I buy them in 1/8 of an inch, and then I just cut them to the length that I want, and they're fantastic. I love them. So I'm creating a little pocket behind my photo. The photo is just me. One day I decided, you know what, I'm going to put a bit of makeup on and do my hair and feel fantastic even though I'm not going anywhere. So that's what I'm scrapping, because some days it's just a stay-at-home day and you just want to feel good. So I did it. Now I'm going around, this is a scrap of white cardstock. I'm going around the edges of it with my Distress Oxide in Abandoned Coral. Now I love these colors. I don't think I've actually done a layout using these colors before. I know that I had definitely never used my Saltwater Taffy, and I'm pretty confident I don't think I've ever used my Tattered Rose Distress Oxide either. What you can see me doing there, some best tip I can give any new scrapbooker: maintain your tools. I say this with love. These scissors, these are the Tim Holtz scissors, right? And they are, to say they're the bomb.com, mate, they are game changing. I absolutely love them. Backstory, I have rheumatoid arthritis really bad in my hands and in my wrists and blah, 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 list goes on. These scissors have got soft, flexible handles, both the mini snips and the shears, the 9-inch shears. And that's what I'm using there. What I was using was my sticky remover, that square bit at the top. Get yourself one. If you haven't got one, I'm speaking to Carol. Carol, I'm letting you know, love, you need to get yourself one of these. I should have had it in my top tips the other day and I didn't. It is a sticky remover. It's an eraser type setup. It goes forever and ever and ever. It removes stickiness from adhesive tape. Now, I quite often when I cut, I get a little bit of sticky on my scissors, which is what I was getting rid of it with. And it is amazing. So Carol, add that one to your next shopping list. You need to get yourself one of them if you haven't got one. Now, I'm only saying that to Carol. I'm saying it to everybody really, but I am drawing attention to her because she does. Carol's new to scrapbooking, and she has questions. So if you are in my Facebook group and you have any answers for Carol, whenever she asks anything, she's a newbie. So let's help her out and get her supply stash going with the most useful stuff that she can possibly use over and over and over again. Now, while I've been waffling, you can see all I'm doing is the packaging technique with some Distress Oxides. I'm using, the colours that I'm using are Tattered Rose, Saltwater Taffy and Abandoned Coral. Now, all I'm doing here is just speeding up the process a little bit and drying, because I don't have patience for it to dry. I'll call it for what it is. I absolutely hate waiting for things to dry. So I am now, that other piece of plastic I was using was doing my head in, so I had to get a new one. So this is the Saltwater Taffy. No, it's not. It's Tattered Rose. Gee whiz. So that's Tattered Rose. It is a beautiful colour. it is one of those nice muted tones. This one is Saltwater Taffy. Again, beautiful color. This is kind of, it's sort of like doing a pink layout, really. It's not, but it could be. So you can do this with any color of ink. You pick your shade, your tones, your whatever you want, right? You can also use whatever medium you want. So here is my little containers. Now I have ordered a watercolor set, thinking that that is the route I wanted to go down to store my sharpened pieces of pigment from my distressed watercolor pencils. You can see them there. These things are amazing. Now, I am loving using them to sharpen and then use the pigment to dye color, whatever, whether it's, so today I'm using the TCW, the Crafters Workshop Light and Fluffy Modeling Paste, and all you have to do is just squish it together. And I want to explain why I think the pencils are better than using your Distress Oxide, your Distress ink, your re-inkers, all of that. You know why I like it more? And I figured it out while I was doing this. By using the pigment from the pencil, you're not adding more liquid to the product. So therefore, you're not diluting the product. You're adding color to the product by working it into the existing texture. So you're not creating a liquid. I apologize if you can hear a dog barking. So it goes through the stencil how you would expect that particular product. So I'm using the Light and Fluffy Modeling Paste, and because I haven't added liquid to it, I'm getting a nice crisp stamp. So that is the best way I can articulate why I keep banging on about the watercolor pencils. That is something I'm loving about them. So if you're thinking about spending money on a new product that you may, I'm sorry, I have dogs in here. I'm going to open the door. I apologize. Okay. All right. Apologies for that. I believe the posties arrived, and I'm really sorry. That was very rude of my dogs, and they're still coming off. Okay. So this is where I decided, what am I going to do with all these leaves? I've got all these leaves. These leaves are from the Paper Rose Studio Lots of Leaves stamp and die set. Okay. These I actually, there you go. You can see it just there very quickly. This particular stamp set has got a plethora. You can see it down on the bottom right there. I'll put a photo of it up on the Facebook group if you like. It comes with different stamps. You've sort of got pointy leaves, and then you've got some more rounded leaves, and you've got some little bits of stubble and all the rest of it. Now, what I ended up doing was I stamped these for a layout last week thinking I was going to use them. Didn't use them. So I decided that I was going to have a little bit of a play. So I pulled out the abandoned coral and I started just stamping one leaf, right? And I thought that gives it a little bit of a point of difference. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a wreath, like a round sort of mixed media leaf layout. That's where my brain was going with this. Now, so this is where you can see where I'm putting the darker leaf. It does, oops, apologies, my phone's vibrating away. Now, this is where I sort of decided that I'm going to, I was having a bit of a play. I wanted to see if I fold these leaves a little bit, and then that's what, so that really helped. When you do a stamp and a die, it's quite easy to just leave it flat. But this is where I don't buy a lot of ephemera because I make my own. You could possibly, if you don't have the stamp and die, you could fussy cut something out of a piece of paper. So you may have in your collection somewhere, you may have some leaves or some whatever you like. You may have other stamps. It doesn't have to be this stamp. And you can just layer them up and create a wreath yourself with yours. If you don't have distress oxides, you can use distress inks, but you don't get a crisp, your result isn't as crisp because it's a dye ink, not a pigment ink. When it comes to stamping, I use my distress oxides rather than my distress inks. You can get the VersaFine range. You can get VersaFine Clear. It is a clear, non-transparent stamp. It gives you a beautiful, crisp image. These leaves that I'm using, because it's sort of layered up and it's over the top of the mixed media. I know it looks a little bit hard at the moment, but when I zoom in at the end, it really does super duper stand out. It's awesome. It looks so good. And I absolutely love this layout. And it was just something that I saw them sitting on my desk and I went, you know what? Today I'm going to use them. So this is what I did. So I'm going around with the single leaf. So with the stamps, you've got the long piece that I've used. Then you've got the single leaf that matches that one. So I'm going around with the coral, the abandoned coral, just to add a darker leaf in amongst it. And I love using mixed media. I sure do. And when I first started, little side story, while I add leaves to my wreath, I'm just poking these extra bits all the way around. That's all I'm doing. So I'm going to have a little bit of a waffle while we go through this. So what's been happening? Jen was supposed to start high school this week, and grade 7, big high schooler. Unfortunately, she was quite sick, and we think she sort of picked up a bit of a bug when she went to the shops on Sunday. So unfortunately, she went to school. Her first day lasted 45 minutes, and she ended up coming home. Now, side note, she's still home today because a little bit of backstory about me. I was a childcare worker for 18 years and I ran my own business. And the one thing that used to grind my goat was when parents would send their child back to childcare before they were fully right. Now, for me, the rule back then was, and I think it still is now, if you can't send your child back to childcare so whenever they last threw up, if that's midday, you have to count 24 hours from that point, right? Subsequently, she's still home today because I run with that theory in my day-to-day life with my children and school, because as far as I'm concerned, the reason that is set there is because they're still contagious. So let's hope she doesn't go to school, and let's hope she doesn't get something again, because poor little Poppet was a bit crook. What else have I done? I had my darling friend come down from, where's she living now? She's living way up north. Dell, she's an absolute darling. And she came down, she had a hospital appointment and she stayed with us for a couple of nights, which was absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved having her here. And my kids loved it, and Jen made the most beautiful afternoon tea for us. It was so sweet. Ange helped and Taylor helped as well, but they all got together and it was beautiful. It was fantastic. We had a pub dinner. It was so nice. It was awesome. That was my weekend. What else? What else can I tell you? Hubby's back at work. He's all good. The whole new year's all starting again. We're back to gymnastics this week. Obviously didn't go yesterday because, well, gastro. Not the best idea to do somersaults when you got gastro. So, so we will be starting. I mean, Jen's already done holiday training and stuff, so we've been back at gymnastics, but back with her squad. So that's pretty good. We got comps starting. I think we got comps next. I think we've got a comp next month. Wow. Time flies. I swear. If you've got little ones, if you got little bubbers, okay, I want to stress this to you. If you've got babies, or if you've got 3, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, cherish the daylights out of that time, because I kid you not, you blink and they're 23. I mean, this year I've got a 24, 15 and 12-year-old. Holy moly, how did that happen? I cannot believe it. My last daycare child that I had in daycare is in year 12 this year. I've got daycare children that have now got children. How old do I feel? Like a dinosaur. Honestly, I really do. I feel so old. It's insane. Oh dear. But that's okay. That's what happens in life, isn't it? So I'm still just adding these leaves. I wanted to squeeze all these leaves on here because I hate wasting things. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just going around. You're starting to see, so the leaf wreath is popping up a little bit more now. And you can see it so much more. I absolutely love how this layout turned out. Let me know below. Let me know what part of this you liked, what part you disliked. You might dislike the whole thing and go, I hate pink. And I mean, I know MK. There's one. MK Gun. If you haven't seen her channel, go check it out. She scraps different to me. Everyone that I watch scraps completely different to how I scrap. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy their content, and it doesn't mean that I don't get ideas from their content. But usually the idea that I get from them, I translate it and it gets all scrambled in my head and it comes out and it doesn't even look like what they've done. So now I'm just going around with a very fine brush and I'm just colouring in some of the leaves with a little bit of that abandoned coral, just to darken them up ever so slightly so they can, just to help make them stand out a little bit more. I absolutely love this. I really, really do love this layout. Now, this video, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. So glad to have you here. I post 6 videos a week at minimum. So I do 6 layouts a week. This gold that I'm using here at the moment is actually the mica powder that I make up in a little pot with gum arabic. And it just literally, it's the nicest gold. It's the gold that I absolutely love. It's like a cool gold, not a warm gold. It's beautiful. So, and I also make that up in a spray. So if you want to know how to do that, I could probably just do a quick bit for you and show you how I make it and load that up to YouTube. Now I'm looking for a title. I did pull those stickers out. They're splendid stickers. I did pull those out, but changed my mind and I ended up going with the CARPE DIEM Rosie's Studio foil foam stickers, and I went with something like happy, because I was happy this day. I put a little bit of makeup on, did my hair, felt amazing, and it made me happy. So that's why I call it happy. And the gold was the same shade of gold as what I had used around the background. Now, the only other thing I have a little bit of a play with, I know I'm cleaning that plastic. I know I could throw it in the bin, but I can also reuse it. So I like to reuse it where I can. I did pull out a heap of washi tapes thinking that's what I'm going to do my border with, but I felt like that was a bit too rigid. It's a bit too rigid. I didn't like it. So I pulled out my thumb dauber and I just very, very gently made more of an organic line around the edge. Just, it's not messy, but it's not perfectly straight either. It's not solid. And created the border around, because I love a border. Need to have a border. Always, always, always. And that is my layout, guys. And then I did write some journaling and and yes, so this is it. Look at all that beautiful texture. Check out those leaves. It looks amazing. I love it so much. Let me know below if you like this one as well. It's quite feminine actually, and quite subdued. Normally I go quite bright and bold, but that's okay. I scrap all different ways. So if you're new to my channel, please give me a thumbs up if you like it. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. I absolutely love finding out how far away people are from me. I'm in Queensland, Australia. And leave me a comment. And of course, as always, subscribe, because I load up 6 videos every single week. Minimum. This week there will be 7. So yeah, that's all I can say about this. This is my layout. This is me. Enjoy. Thank you so much. I will chat to you again real soon. Bye for now.